Before I start this video will contain surgery scars, blood, and open wounds. Please click off this video if you're sensitive or are uncomfortable with those listed. Hello, I'm Kitty Gemma. Last year, I got the A.C.E Surgery, a rare bowel surgery that is rare in children and very rare in adults. Here is an entire guide about the tube, as there is hardly any videos online about it, and hardly anyone at A&E knew about this surgery. I'll be discussing about the G-tube, that is also known as the mini ACE. The G-tube is normally used if you had your appendix removed. It will also depend on the surgeon and the hospital that you go to. What is an ACE / what does it do? An ACE, or the full name,
Antegrade continence enema,
is a tube that is inserted into your intestines. There are different types of tubes for an ACE. To use the ACE, you'll be placing warm water inside the tube. The amount differs from person to person. After placing the tube inside, it can take as little as 10 minutes or as long as a couple of hours for a bowel movement. This is to prevent straining and to provide better bowel movements for those who suffer from long-term constipation. Surgery. Before the surgery, I was placed on a low residue diet 3 days before the surgery. It limits high fibre foods and limits your fruit and veg intake. My final meal before the surgery was some gluten-free bread with vegan sausages. I fasted roughly a day before surgery and no liquid 8 hours before the surgery. During the fast, I was allowed water, black tea, and black coffee before no liquids. When you arrive, you have to prep your bowels. You might need to can your urine straight away. So came the bowel prep, a sachet that you have to dissolve in water, which will help make you go. I drank it over the course of 8 hours, and 3 hours before the surgery, my bowels were fully clean. Be prepared to wake up in the middle of the night to go multiple times. 2 hours before the surgery, I was woken up by a nurse. She gave me a gown to change into and made sure that my blood pressure and vitals were good. 7 a.m. I was tired because I didn't get much sleep last night. The amount of antibiotics I was given pretty much murdered my gut bacteria. My surgery was sadly delayed for over 8 hours due to an emergency. Due to this, they gave me a liquid drip so I could stay hydrated. After 8 hours, it was my turn. I got asked questions such as my name, my age, and what surgery I was getting. My vitals got checked and the drugs kicked in. It took 30 seconds, but I fell asleep. I woke up. 2.5 hours later, I felt high. I had an oxygen mask on my face, and I felt a mixture of pain and soreness as soon as I moved a little. The surgery was done. The tube was wrapped up. I was given water in a straw and decided to sleep for a couple of hours. During my time in hospital, I was given a lot of painkillers as it was sore and I was in pain most of the time. I took a nap, woke up, and instead of peeing, I vomited twice. This is due to surgery or the possibility that they might have given me too many painkillers. I went to bed and slept better than last night. I was able to eat food after not having anything for 2 days. I broke the fast with some grapes and apples before moving on to some soya yogurt that my dad got for me. I was having trouble peeing. I had to pee in a tube due to this, but after some time I was able to pee on my own when I had a shower. On the day of the discharge, I was able to use my ACE. An ACE nurse showed me how it worked, and here is how you use the tube.
Alright, here we go. Final flush before we go on stage 2. As you can see, the blooding has gone down a lot, so same thing as always. Remove the green cap. Syringe full of lukewarm water, 50 to 60 ml. Into there. Slowly push it in. Oh, that feels weird. And then get your green cap, and as soon as that comes off, you need to put that green cap down in straight away. Otherwise, if you don't, all the water's gonna come back up and something else that I'm not gonna explain because it's fucking gross and it's happened at least once. And let me tell you, it's not a pleasant experience, but it happens. Oh, and okay, we had a tiny bit of water come out because it looks like he wasn't fast enough, but that's okay, I'll just get that cleaned up. Alright, there we go. Stage 2 will happen tomorrow.
I was also given different tubes so I can fill them up with water and some dressings. The tube that I'm using is literally a beginner or a basic tube. After 8 weeks, I would move on to the G-tube, or as they call it, stage 2. I have to do this every day at the same time, which is 12 PM for me. It might take as little as 30 minutes to get the urge to go. It might take as long as a few hours to get an urge to go. After staying in the hospital for over 4 days, I was discharged and I was able to go home. I was only told to do basic exercises like walking and to rest well. I slept a lot, sometimes as much as over 12 hours. Since my gut bacteria was low, I had a lot of kombucha, probiotics, and ate a lot of probiotic foods. I was still taking laxatives, but the tube started working after a couple of days. I was able to do a bowel movement with the tube and shocked that it only took a couple of days for it to start working. Recovery/problems. During recovery, I sadly ran into problems that can occur during recovery. So many problems I even made 2 videos about it. My tube got infected twice and I was on antibiotics twice. I had to keep changing the dressings because there was so much infection pus coming out. I even had to go to A&E because there was blood in the tube. If you get any of these problems during recovery, please go to the hospital as soon as possible. Infections, blood in the tube, unable to put water in the tube rejecting the water, heavy bleeding, or feeling unwell. If you do have to go to hospital, please bring everything with you. Your tube, syringes, dressing, and information. Hardly anyone at the hospital knew what my surgery was, and I was shocked. But luckily, the information helped them get a rough idea of what it was and what they could do. G-tube/more problems. Due to the problems, we decided to change the tube early. I went back to see my ACE nurse and got it changed into the mini ACE tube. The mini ACE tube was 4 centimeters long, and I was given more equipment to use. A small tube that I could attach so I could place the water inside, and some small syringes so I could change the water inside the balloon. My 4 centimeter tube was too big for me due to my slender figure. I was still able to flush the tube, but I found it very difficult, and this led to going to the hospital because it was very close to falling out. If your tube falls out or is close to falling out, please visit the hospital as it is an instant emergency. And please remember to bring your tube, syringes, and information. But the good news was after a few months, I finally got the correct tube, which was a 3 centimeter tube. And here is how you do a flush with the G-tube. Changing the balloon. I had to change the balloon once a week. And here is how you do it. First, you drain the water, which is on the side. Place the water or dispose of it. Fill the syringe up with 4 centimeters of clean water. Yours might be different depending on your tube size. Fill the tube up with clean water, and that is how you change the balloon inside. The balloon is inside so that your tube does not fall out. Caring for your tube. Your tube needs to be looked after every day. You'll need to flush your tube with water every day at the same time. Change the water inside the balloon once a week and clean your tube. Sometimes some discharge will come out of the tube. All you need to do is wipe it off with some basic tissue and water. However, if the discharge is brown and it is a severe or a big amount of discharge, please contact your ACE nurses for advice. Sometimes this can happen if you eat a lot of food in a short period of time, or your ACE might need to be repositioned when you do your balloon changing. Button buddies. Button buddies are a great way to catch most of the discharge on your tube. You can purchase button buddies online. Button buddies can cost roughly £10 to £15 for a pack of 3. I got mine from Etsy from this lovely person. You can find this person's Etsy in the video description. This person does a wide range of custom button buddies. These button buddies are reusable, and you can hand wash them or place them in the washing machine. I highly recommend to get roughly 10 button buddies so that if you do place them in the washing machine, you have some spare ones just in case for emergencies. Change your button buddy once a day, changing the tube. Your G-tube will not last forever. You need to change your G-tube once every 6 months. And here's how you do it. Hello, here is how I change my H-tube. So first, I need to drain the water out of the balloon. If it's clear, that's fine. If it's brown, that's also fine. Take it out. You are not seeing that because it looks disgusting. Grab the new tube. You need to lube up the end so it can go into the hole successfully. Wow, that sounds lewd. Carefully place it inside. And now, you need to fill it with water so that it holds it in place. So I'm going to take another syringe, 4 ml of water, in it goes. Remove the blue thing. Put the cap on. And there you go. And don't forget your button buddy. You should get your G-tube from your ACE nurse and a spare one in case of emergencies. Has it helped? Ever since I got this surgery in October 2023, I was able to cut my laxatives down by a huge amount. I now only have to take 2 laxative tablets every night compared to taking over 10 tablets of different types of laxatives and using a bowel washout on top of it. If you ever had constipation and you've been struggling with it for years, please ask for your local doctor about an A.C.E Surgery. Is the ACE tube a stoma? It is part of the stoma family, which is why most of the stoma nurses know basic information about the ACE. However, there's only a small amount of stoma nurses who have been trained about an ACE. I have to go to the next town if I have any issues, as there is no stoma nurses in my town that know what an ACE is. Traveling with an ACE. I've yet to go on holiday with my ACE, but here are some recommendations. Have spare tubes and syringes in both your hand luggage and in your suitcase in case your suitcase does get lost. Have some information about an ACE and doctor's note in case anyone at the airport asks. Carry some extra button buddies in your hand luggage in case of extra discharge. If you're attending a special day like a wedding, I recommend a stoma cap. I got given a stoma cap by the ACE nurses and are great at catching heavy discharge or attending special events. Please do not be scared to ask your ACE nurses, as they might be able to give you stuff like the stoma caps and other bits and bobs for your ACE for free, or at a small price. And here are some questions my fans have asked. Does it smell? As long as you clean your tube while you are in the shower, clean the discharge every day and change your button buddy, it does not smell. Does it hurt? It rarely hurts. You can just feel it sometimes moving when I'm exercising. What happens if you need your appendix removing while you have the tube? I'm very unsure since I got my appendix removed roughly 2 years ago before I got the tube. Will you have the tube for the rest of your life? Since it has cut down the amount of laxatives I take, it is easy to take care of the tube? Yes, I will have this tube for the rest of my life. What happens if the tube no longer helps with bowel movements? This is extremely rare, but it can happen. If it does happen, a stoma would be the next option, as stomas should be used as the last resort. Can you not eat or drink certain things? I can still have my food and drink as normal. The reason why I'm slowly back on gluten is because I never got a diagnosis for celiac disease, despite the fact that 2 IBS doctors told me to avoid gluten. I don't know why, honestly. Doctors can be weird sometimes. Will my insurance cover the surgery? I am unsure as I'm from the UK. Please don't be afraid to check before getting the surgery. I hope this guide was helpful to you. If you have any more questions about the ACE, please leave them in the comments below. Feel free to share this video, as this might help some doctors and others who are curious about this rare surgery. Goodbye!